Hello, I'm Diane Morgan. If you know who I am, you know who I am. If you don't, who cares? I'm here to explain Italian Time, a holiday phenomenon where Italians throw away their clocks and gather for eternity with San Pellegrino. I've been at this party so long that I've eaten 5 courses, hugged someone's grandma twice, and been offered a job in the family restaurant. So this holiday season, make sure to bring enough San Pellegrino to last you through the meal, the after meal, and the entire goodbye ritual. San Pellegrino, holiday on Italian Time.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros, word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.
Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of Keep Watch Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel. We have come to the end of the year, so it is time to take our annual look back at movies that we watched that were released in 2025 and make our Keep Watch and Pass picks. And here to join me, the best part of the year, my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing?
Aw, thanks. That's so nice.
I think she shows up here just to find out how I'm going to compliment her at the beginning of the show. And I don't write any of this stuff down. So whenever I say these things, it is literally off the top of my head. So you are getting the in the moment.
I've actually been making a playlist.
So that's why on our analytics, there's only you were played from 1 minute to 1 minute and 5 seconds. And that's just me complimenting you.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Good to know. Good to know. All right. So we're talking about films that were released this calendar year that we've watched that we either keep, watch, or pass on. So before we get into these picks, Carrie, overall, because we actually went to the theater a lot this year, how was the year of 2025 in films for you?
Overall, it was pretty good. It was most difficult to find a movie I'd pass on.
You know what's funny? It wasn't for me.
Oh.
And I think it's not necessarily because it was a bad film. It's just one that I felt let down by.
I was more afraid of passing on a movie that we're going to wind up talking about again for the Razzies.
No, you know what's funny? When it comes to Keep Watch Pass, I don't mind talking about films that we're going to talk about for the Razzies. Now, by the way, if you are a follower of this channel, then you know that in 2 days' time, we're going to be dropping Grading on a Curve. And we are specifically picking films that were the lowest of the low on the tomatometer. But the funny thing is, I tend not to talk about those films as my pass for this because I don't want to spoil the juice for Grading on a Curve. But I found 2025 to be a better year in films. I found 2024 was weird. There were a couple of hits, but there were some big whiffs in 2024. 25, I found, was a much more even year. And I found myself more drawn to the theater than I have been really since the beginning of the pandemic.
I also note that with every year that passes, there's more and more content to choose from.
Oh, God.
And that's, of course, because, and thanks to Netflix originals and Prime original video,
Apple TV and Paramount Plus, and there's so much to watch. And even if we want to get into the Tubi originals, but why not, right? And not to mention we also got Roku as well, and there's so many movies out there. It's impossible to watch all of them, and occasionally we do like to watch good films too. Go figure. But here's what we're gonna do: we're gonna pick 3 films each. Keep watching to pass. And they're all released in 2025. And we have seen these films, so this is good. So, Carrie, I'm going to toss it over to you. Your Keep 2025 film.
I am so excited that I can talk about this movie because really, it's a two-parter. It came out in 2 separate years, but not today.
Not today.
My keep is, of course, the Kill Bill whole bloody affair. 4.5, actually, I dare say, and you have to stay till the end. Stay
Yes.
post credits for sure. But it's about almost 5 hours.
Especially if you watch, play Fortnite, but go on.
5 hours in a movie theater.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. It was such an incredible experience to see the whole movie as it was meant to be.
You know what's funny? When you take a look at all the different small stories in Kill Bill, I don't think it's unfair to say that Lucy Liu, the character of O-Ren Ishii, probably got the biggest backstory exposition dump of every single kill in Kill Bill. But it was also my favorite exposition dump. The reason why Kill Bill Volume 1 was always my favorite part of that duology was because of the anime backstory that was O-Ren Ishii. And this is the one that got the biggest new material dump in the entire film. And I'm all for it. Like, that entire section was masterfully done. But the other thing too is that there's something about watching a film as a whole. And I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to see other movies taking note. You tell me that before Avengers Doomsday drops, they're not going to take Infinity War and Endgame and put them back to back and have people sit for like 6 hours in the theater.
I hope they do. Because remember when our local theater did like all 8 Harry Potter movies?
Films, yeah.
And every weekend, you could find me at the movie theater.
You could find me in the club. But I think I might actually appreciate Deathly Hallows more watching it back to back like that.
I could see that. I could definitely agree with that. And there's just something about seeing it on the big screen.
Yes.
It's how the movie was intended to be seen. You pick up so many little details in the set dressing or just, a set piece or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Facial expressions are so much bigger and bolder.
See, here's the thing. And I appreciate that not everything is as inexpensive as it once was. Going to the theaters is expensive. You got kids, it is hella expensive, right? Because, you bring kids, you got to buy the popcorn, you got to buy the drinks, you got to buy all this stuff, right? Going to the movies is not a cheap thing. Even on Tuesdays, it's not necessarily cheap. It's not like it used to be. And it also doesn't help that you can go out and buy like an 85 or 90 inch TV and put it up at home and basically have your theater experience at home. Trust me, we got the space on the wall. We could put up a big size TV and have our own little theater experience in here.
Can we get the massaging chairs?
If we ever win the lottery, yes.
Fair.
Yes.
Okay.
But there's something about the atmosphere of the theater. There really is, and say what you will about the cracked leather on the chair and the kernels of popcorn stuck in between the seats and whatnot, and the occasional people who just don't know how to shut up in the theater. I understand all of that. But I grew up going to the theater. Going to the theater for me was a treat. It was a reward. It was a night out. And will always be a night out. And no matter how much content we get at home, it's streaming on ridiculously sized televisions. Also, we need a ridiculously sized television in the basement. That's okay. I want to go to the theater. I want the lights to dim. I want the commercials and the trailers at the beginning. I want that experience. I want to give a little shout out to Quentin Tarantino as well. for the whole bloody affair. Not because he expanded upon an already epic tale, because he had the forethought to put in an intermission. My bladder thanks you, good sir.
I just hope this isn't counted as his 10th movie.
No,
That's
no,
it.
no,
Wrap
no,
it up.
no,
He's
no.
done.
No.
No.
Tarantino's got something more up the sleeve. All right, I tossed and turned on this one. I'm of two minds on my keep pick. And I wanted to hear your keep pick, because if you went with one, I would go with the other.
Oh.
And you didn't go with either. So you have left me in the lurch here. So I'm going to go with a film that I went in with lowered expectations, because I'm not the biggest Jared Leto fan.
Uh-huh.
But I'm keeping Tron Ares.
I agree with that. I approve.
Because this was a toss-up. I'm gonna wait to hear your watch pick to see if you had actually picked what my other keep pick was. But Tron Ares, for me, I was surprised at how good it was. And I love the Tron universe. I absolutely do. The first film was way ahead of its time. Tron Legacy, we have a full hour and a half show on Tron Legacy. So you go ahead and you listen to that. And the Tron animated series on Disney Plus right now is so freaking good. And if you love Tron, you need to go listen to that show, because it is hella good. But Tron Ares, I worried that this was going to be another case of Morbid Time, and it wasn't. It was handled and controlled and gave us a Tron story. Not a Jared Leto story. A Tron story. The style of it, the soundtrack, getting Trent Reznor to build the soundtrack for this. Perfect choice, even though Daft Punk had the superior Tron soundtrack. Nothing against Trent Reznor. Daft Punk came to play, though. This was a good Tron film, and I was pleasantly surprised. And maybe because I went in expecting the worst. And I know you're not the biggest Jared Leto fan either. And you were going in ready, you were like, 2-hour nap. You didn't mind this film either, though.
I'm not even a big Tron fan. So I was really nervous going into this. I'm like, I'm going to hate every moment of this 2-hour movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't. And I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was the complete opposite of what I expected.
Tron Ares to you is probably like, Godzilla -1 was for you. An eye-opening surprise that you actually didn't mind it.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay, a holiday you're saving.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. This season, enjoy spacious, comfortable rooms and friendly service when you book with Hilton instead. Hilton for the stay.
The Subaru Share the Love event is on from November 20th to January 2nd. During this event, Subaru donates to charities like Meals on Wheels, and so far has supported the delivery of nearly 5 million meals to our aging neighbors. When you purchase or lease a new vehicle during the 2025 Subaru Share the Love event, Subaru and its retailers will make a minimum $300 donation to charity. Visit Subaru.com/share to learn more.
Hey, this is Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast, here to tell you that Michelob Ultra, the official beer partner of the NBA, is bringing NBA fans closer than ever this season with chances to win great prizes, including courtside tickets. Enter now at MichelobUltra.com/courtside. Michelob Ultra courtside 25 to 26. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 21 plus. Begins on October 1st, 2025 and ends on June 30th, 2026. Multiple entry periods. See official rules at MichelobUltra.com/courtside for free entry deadlines, prizes, and details.
All right. For my watch film, I know I said I like to go to the theaters, but we watched this one at home because Netflix dropped A House of Dynamite. This, to me, the very first trailer for House of Dynamite, should be the template for how trailers are done. Because it told you everything and told you nothing all at the same time. It told you everything in tenor and tone and ominous pit in your stomach feeling of what's going to happen. Utilizing the audiobook reading of Carl Sagan's Pale Blue Dot as a parallel story to what was going to happen in this film. I was hooked from the minute I saw that trailer. I was showing this trailer to anyone who would watch a trailer. That's how good this trailer was. And even the second trailer was pretty good too, but that first trailer, haunting. And then we watched the film. And I'm going to spoil it a little bit here. But it's on Netflix, so freaking watch it already. It is 3 different viewpoints of about the same 20 minutes of time. And the resolution is not. That's it. The resolution doesn't happen. The story ends before the missile strikes. And it leaves you to wonder what happened. What happened? Did the missile hit? Did it explode? Was it a dud? Was it not? This film leaves you with a lingering question of, what do you think happened?
See, I don't mind that.
No, that's I think part of why it's still my watch film. Like, I think of the 3 angles in this film, I think Idris Elba's was the weakest of the 3. Rebecca Ferguson owned this movie. Oh, absolutely owned this movie. Like, and I love that they started the film with her point of view because it's strong. It is the strongest part of this entire film. I understand that Idris Elba, as the president of the United States, you have to end with his point of view, especially because he's in the target zone. So I'm going to ask you, Carrie, because we sat and we watched this. Not whether you liked it or not. That's irrelevant. Do you think the missile was a solid one and destroyed the town? Or do you think it was a dud and they survived?
No, I personally think to avoid showing just how catastrophic the destruction and death toll would be, that they cut the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it absolutely hit.
Yeah. Now, for those of you who are not willing to sit down and watch an hour and a half of just, tension porn, for lack of a better term, this actually is somewhat based a little bit on the book Nuclear War by Annie Jacobsen. Not direct parallel kind of thing, but you could see inferences from that work. So, there's an audiobook out there. If you have a library card wherever you are, go ahead, read it, or just go ahead and watch A House of Dynamite on Netflix. It's worth the watch, and it's also worth a discussion afterwards. And I don't think a lot of movies leave you that dangling sort of Damocles kind of talking point afterwards. Maybe it's me. I like a film that leaves a few questions, because if this is your, movie and dinner date, you have something to talk about afterwards. I personally thought it was a good film. I know there are people out there who are like, what the hell is this film? It's the same story for 3 times. Dudes, sit down and watch the film.
I think to that note, if I had to compare this with Civil War, with Kirsten Dunst, I prefer this one. I prefer not, you're watching the amount of destruction and death, and it becomes really hard. Like I would say that I didn't like Civil War because of that, how it made me feel.
But it did that to make you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would rather almost avoid that uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah. This is subtle, and Civil War was the sledgehammer.
Yes.
All right, Carrie, what's your watch pick?
The Thunderbolts.
Okay. You picked a Marvel film. I'm so proud
the
of
Avengers.
you.
They're like the Avengers, but
With a Z, yes.
Yes. I so enjoyed this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think this out of the many times that we've seen Florence Pugh, this is my favorite of the Avengers movies.
Yeah, the Pugh can do no wrong.
Yes, fantastic.
But I think it's also a very good Wyatt Russell outing.
Well, it was also very much Bill Pullman's movie. Bob. I like Bob.
Yeah.
You didn't like Bob?
You know what? I mean, I'm gonna be very honest. I'm not as familiar with the Sentry character as most comic book fans are. I'm not the biggest deep diver when it comes to every character that enters the MCU, but I don't know if that's the Sentry that comes from the comic books. I think, yes, Florence Pugh is the absolute brightest star in this corner of the MCU galaxy. I think Wyatt Russell did a fantastic job as U.S. agent. And I think this film kind of hit people in the feels a little bit. You know, it's one of those things where it tackled the thought of PTSD. It tackled the idea of imposter syndrome. It tackled the idea of people who are just done. I think it's almost a movie that maybe hit a little too close to home for people. But I also see people praising it as the best MCU film of the year. And this is in a year that also came out with Fantastic Four: First Steps and Captain America: Brave New World. Now, admittedly, Captain America: Brave New World is the lesser of the three Marvel films that came out this year. And I think only because we saw the whole damn film in the trailer. I feel like there was nothing new brought to the screen.
And I'm not passing on it, but I did not enjoy Fantastic Four as much as I thought I would.
See, I liked it, I think, more because I was in awe at the proper interpretation of Galactus. Galactus is such an iconic character that you want him to be bigger than life, bigger than everything. And he was huge. It was great. And Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm was fantastic. But the Thunderbolts, you'd already developed these characters in other properties. And I get taking out Taskmaster felt cold. But sometimes you got to shank someone on day one in the prison.
You know who I really liked, though? Which character? Was the assistant.
Oh, Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Valentina. Yes.
I liked Valentina's assistant.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Wasn't she in Blockers?
Was she?
I think so. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But she was so incredibly good, confident, and at that moment where she started to connect with the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
You know, and it was kind of like, okay, like that's really stepping a line here. Like, which side are you on now?
Keeping in mind that Sebastian Stan at that point, of course, is a member of Congress. So, you know, like it's the Thunderbolts had the advantage of having their chess pieces already on the board. Fantastic Four had to put all their chess pieces on the board all at once. I think Fantastic Four did a really good job. I mean, Brave New World had the hardest part of all, and that's recasting General Ross with Harrison Ford. And I think he did an admirable enough job, but that was a film that suffered with the trailer spoiling everything. I'm going to drop this now because I'm guaranteeing that this is not your pass pick. Remember how I said that I was tossing between one film or another for my keep?
Mm-hmm.
I feel negligent in not talking about The Toxic Avenger. Peter Dinklage owned this film.
Is this your pass or your watch?
No, I'm just bringing this up because this was the other film I was keeping or thinking for my keep pick.
Okay.
So if you hadn't picked Tron Ares or Toxic Avenger, I was going to go with the other one. But no, Toxic Avenger needs to be mentioned because holy crap, that was one of the most fun times I've had in a theater in a long time with a film that is just absolutely bat-ish crazy. Loved that film. No, it's past pick time now. We're not talking about the good films anymore. We're talking about the past picks.
All right. Well, I mentioned Fantastic Four, and I'm not passing on it,
Okay.
but I am passing on a Pedro Pascal movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
I had such high hopes for The Materialists.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping for, another Devil Wears Prada or Confessions of a Shopaholic.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted that like high style Manhattan once over, but what I got was a really tainted love story.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
It didn't stick the landing.
I remember showing you this trailer because it seemed like it was going to be kind of a funner film. It seemed like it was going to be a little quirky, a little out there, life in Manhattan kind of thing. And then we get there and every single character in this film is going through existential dread. Like, I'm sorry. You kind of sold us a weird bill of goods on this one. I didn't mind Pedro Pascal in the film. I think Chris Evans is the shining light of the main three in this film. Can we talk about Dakota Johnson for a second here?
Can we hear? I mean, she was a professional, like, pimp daddy.
Yeah.
Mama. I don't know.
I'm really trying here. Like, I didn't hate her in 50 Shades of Grey. And I know you still stan her in Madam Web. I know you do.
I loved her in Madam Web, but I found this one, the character, and I'm not saying the actress.
Mm-hmm.
I do really like Dakota Johnson. I do. But I found that this character was just so shallow and just not a good person.
I think the best thing I can say about this film, the best thing I can say about Dakota Johnson is she's too nice for that role. She comes across as too nice in real life for the character of someone who is basically a high-end dating service, for lack of a better term, materialist. And that's maybe not the role to go for.
Yeah, but the fact that, again, they were trying to show it as a romance.
Mm-hmm.
And she treated her, what should have been her one true love with Chris Evans, like garbage. Like,
yeah,
she was more concerned about money than their relationship.
Yeah.
And let it impact.
They didn't paint her character well at all.
No, but she wasn't likable. And then, of course, she winds up with Pedro Pascal's character, who's a wealthier, playboy, right? Like he's, the wealthy, handsome gentleman.
But yet he's someone who's also little, Pedro Pascal's character has his own little, I don't want to say comeuppance kind of thing, but that's not even the word.
Short standing?
Is the perfect way of putting it. Yeah, he has his own inadequacies that he's dealing with, right? And Pedro Pascal plays that very well because the moment that he reveals his shortcomings, if you will.
He was so great. Oh,
right?
I love him. But I'm passing on the movie, but I'm not passing on Pedro.
Or Chris Evans. I think Chris Evans played it very well. I wish they had written Dakota Johnson's character a little bit more likable. But every time she's talking to Chris Evans' character, I'm like, you're just in it for to be taken care of. And I don't like that about your character.
But you know what? It wasn't the actors, it was the story.
Yeah, it was the script. It's entirely the script, yeah.
And I think it should have been a pass. You got to talk to her agent and go, can we get this girl some good movies?
Yeah. I mean, somewhere down the road. That's what we need to do. We need to basically go on a Dakota Johnson quest and find the movies where she absolutely shines. Because I think, unfortunately, because of the very nature of our podcast, and we talk about films that are, lowly rated, then we're obviously kind of handcuffed. I'd be interesting to do somewhere down the road a movie starring Dakota Johnson, Keep Watch Pass, where we can find something where we can shine a light on her, because I think there's something there. just not in the movies we get to talk about.
Yes, we definitely need justice for Dakota.
Right? We will find
vengeance.
That silver lining for Dakota Johnson. Even if you have to watch every single film in her filmography, we'll find that for her. All right. For my past pick, I'm actually going to go back 1 year in time from around right about now. Because when we did our Movies of 2025 preview, one of the films that I was looking forward to seeing during this past calendar year was Mickey 17, starring Robert Pattinson. And I'm here to tell you all I was wrong. But it's not because of Robert Pattinson. Now, I admittedly have not read the Edward Ashton books. I have them. I picked up the books. I even picked up Antimatter Blues. All right, I'm ready to go down that literary road because I think the story is there. And Robert Pattinson did a fantastic job. But sometimes one character and one role can kind of turn the film on its head. And I'm sorry, Mark Ruffalo, what the hell were you doing with this role? Like, I was talking with his teeth and it's really, really weird. And I couldn't understand a thing that he was saying. I'm like, oh, Mark Ruffalo, dear God, stop what you're doing. I don't know if you're trying to make a statement with this character, but it's turning it cartoonish and it's not what this film needs. And it took me out of it. I'm going to be very curious to read the book because I'm going to read the book because I'm extra like that. Because I love the story behind it. But I wonder if that character reads like that. And I really hope that when I read the book and I get to those characters' lines, I don't have whatever the hell Mark Ruffalo chose as an affliction to his voice. I hope that's not in my head because it's going to be a weird read after that. All right, Carrie, please remind our listeners what your keep, watch, and past picks are for movies from 2025.
It's been a good year, hasn't it?
It's been a very good movie year.
And I'm just so excited that I get to talk about Keeping Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair. I'm watching Thunderbolts and passing on The Materialists.
All right. I am keeping Tron Ares with a little hat tip to The Toxic Avenger because it's definitely worth watching if you have not watched it yet. But I'm a bigger Tron fan than I am Toxic Avenger, so Tron gets the win.
And you can't have two.
Well, no, I can't, but I'm giving a little hat tip anyways. I'm watching A House of Dynamite on Netflix, and I'm passing on Mickey 17, a film that I was looking forward to watching this past year, and now it's not there.
I'm not going to lie. I'm shocked on your pass pick.
Really?
I really am.
What did you think I was going to pass on?
Well, I mean, I'm any number of things. We haven't mentioned Minecraft.
Yeah, but I remember when we did the Movies of 2025 preview episode, I said I was going to pass on Minecraft. I passed on it and haven't watched it yet. You, ma'am,
yes,
disappoint me.
Oh.
Because there's a film that I thought might have been at least your watch pick.
Oh.
And you didn't mention it.
What is it?
Caught Stealing.
Ooh, that was a good one too.
That was a really good one.
There were so many good movies, great movies.
Yes.
This past year. When I say it was a good year, it really was. But it was a good year for great movies.
Yes.
Not so much on the passable ones.
But it was also a good year in not serving up as many stinkers as we've seen in the past couple of years. Like, I get filming the pandemic's weird. I understand. And things are finally, for a full calendar year, feeling back to normal when it comes to movies, especially now that we got past the writer's strike as well. Like, it feels like we're there. It feels like we're back to what it once was. And I'm looking forward to what's to come. And by the way, dear listeners, next week on Monday, we're going to be dropping our Movies of 2026 preview episode as we talk about the films that we look forward to or maybe not look forward to watching in the 2026 calendar year. But until that time, and until the next episode, you guys know the drill. If there is a topic that you want to discover on Keep Watch Pass, or a movie that you think is unfairly maligned, hit us up on social media at NotThatBadcast, or go to our website at NotThatBadcast.com. And while you're there, hey, check out our merch section, because we got some cool stuff that you can purchase for yourself and help support the show. Until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is the last Keep Watch Pass of 2025 on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel, and a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.